Hi everyone, it is Sebastian. I'd like to make a brief mentioning about the vulnerability posts that are becoming a fashion and a trend on Facebook and other medias, where you see the very beginning there's a video or just a writing, and often there is a video. And then they're writing vulnerable post, be careful, triggers there, blah blah blah. So as much as I agree with the principle, the idea, or the concept of going into our vulnerabilities, I definitely defend that idea and support it. It's really important to find our own vulnerability and learn how to rest into it. But I see how often it becomes a marketing technique, and I get seriously, I don't know if it's trigger or upset or just both of them. It's so come on. Like, what is a vulnerability sharing? A vulnerability sharing is when I dare to be myself and I show myself how I am, and there is flaws, there is light and shades, and when I'm vulnerable is when I allow someone, and first of all myself, to be seen and to see how I am in my integrity, even with what I dislike or not really accepting myself, and just rest into it. Now, often the vulnerability posts, they are made like a bit, when you go to a job interview and the interviewer at the end of the point asks you, please, can you tell me one negative thing about yourself? And you look at him and say, yes, I am a perfectionist. Or I am too exigent. This is not really said in a way that it is a negative thing about us. We say it because we know it can be seen sometimes or said to be negative, but ultimately everyone knows it is seen as something positive. So it's like all those shares on Facebook lately where someone is sharing things about their vulnerability, which in reality, it is not a vulnerability thing, it is a call for being acknowledged and recognized at best. Or it is a marketing thing. Or it is like, look, I am not perfect, but in my imperfection, I'm holding my shit together and I'm fine. Like, look at all my defaults, but I assume them. Okay, so owning your shit, owning your problem, owning your shadow, this is not a vulnerability sharing. And that's fine, but just the trigger for me is this use for marketing. It is the wrong use of words when we say we are sharing vulnerabilities, when we are sharing strengths in reality. Strengths in the socially non-accepted, maybe, yes. Strengths in the unusual, okay, or strengths beyond the appearances of what we look like to the world or want to look like, okay, yeah, but so often those vulnerable shares are actually sharing a feeling of strengths. Why does it upset me? It's because after people believe that being vulnerable is sharing shit, is sharing things that are politically incorrect or unconventional, and that I have to be proud of that. This is not being vulnerable. This is a misuse of the concept of vulnerability. Vulnerability, actually, I usually don't want to be too much seen into it. I may share, I may be seen by some friends and close, but vulnerability is not like, yeah, look at me, I'm full of shit. This is not. This is a big misuse which kind of triggered the shit out of me sometime. Yeah, sharing the unconventional is great, but it is not the same. What's the problem is that doing so, we miss the point of what it means to be vulnerable. To be vulnerable is basically to be authentic and releasing the mask, showing ourselves as we are. And when we share our strengths as a fake vulnerability, it is exactly the opposite that we do. And that's the problem because people misunderstand it and the concept gets lost and spoiled. It's the very same idea as we are all one, because so many new age people use that without understanding it and misuse the word we are all one or we are all love, which are beautiful concepts at the base, but because they've been so much misused, that now is like they don't mean anything for most people. They're just, yeah, that's a unicorn thing, when at the base they were a great thing to know and acknowledge. It's same with vulnerability. It's a beautiful thing to go into your vulnerability, but the way it is used, most of the time we forget what it means to be vulnerable. So yeah, this was a non-vulnerable talk about the so-called vulnerable talk.